It's time to dad. Hey guys, welcome back to Time to Dad. I'm not actually on this episode tonight. We had a bit of a snafu with some of the audio, and somehow we lost the whole like 5 minute intro from Jason and a couple of his questions to guys. So just wanted to pop in and apologize. This episode's a little weird because it kind of starts in the middle of a thought. With Nick, but basically we did a check in with Alex. Alex is back on the show, as you'll see in the episode, and then Alex and where it picks up with Nick, we were just kind of talking about dads and what kind of time you have available to be with your kids after work and things like that. So, just a little preface as to why it seems like the show starts in the middle of a thought with Nick here. But as always, thanks you guys for hanging out and hope you enjoy the the portion of the show that we were able to salvage. All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, I mean, for me, we have the au pair, so my 3-year-old is here all day, every day. Comes in, sits on my lap during work sometimes. I work from home, so I see him a lot. I pick up my kid from school every day. Pretty much after work, it is hang out with them until bedtime, which is always later than I, threaten it to be, and then wake up, do the next thing. Yeah, more or less. I mean, it's not always the same, but I mean, I generally work 8:30 to 5:30 or so. But there's a lot of flexibility in there, and the sense that I can, if I need to take an hour to go do something school related during the day, I can. I just make it up at the back end. Work 6:30 that night or something like that. Um, so yeah, I mean, they're here a lot, and um, they're, as you said, a bundle of energy at all times. So,
Yeah, it's scary to be around toddlers because you think they're hurt if they ever fall, and it's fine. They laugh it off, no big deal. But then you see them slip on something silly and don't physically see any them getting injured or seeming like they get injured, and they start crying, and it's ridiculous. Children are tiny, just I don't know, tiny little monsters. But I love my kids, man. I wouldn't trade them for anything. They're so freaking fun. And it like whenever I have like a terrible day, like if I walk through that damn door and these kids are like, "Daddy," oh my god, does that wash away all the bullshit of the day and just make me glad to be home, you know?
Yeah, I
yeah,
think they're
no,
like
for sure.
cats. Oh god.
No, I was just gonna say last night we were it was very fun in the sense that we were like putting him to bed and wrestling and whatnot. And we were finally starting to get uh, um, settled down, and my 3-year-old just like bit the shit out of me on my left
Oh,
shoulder. No, not viciously. He just was wrestling and having fun, and just bit me, and it hurt. And I was like, ah! I yelled, not at him, but just because it hurt. And then of course he's crying for the next 10 minutes because he feels so bad. And I don't know. I was laying there, and similar concept. I was like, this is you know, stressful in a way, but at the same time, this is
Nick,
right where I want to be. So,
yeah,
um,
Nick, you just reminded me of what my kid did 3 days ago now. He Me and him were I was laying on the couch being on my phone, and this kid rightfully comes and tries to snatch my phone and get my attention, starts pulling on my shirt, eventually grabs my glasses out of my face, and I'm like, like I wasn't mad. I just made a weird noise to get him to understand that that wasn't cool. So I just went, and then he went down to pick up my glasses, and right before he gets them to my face, I hear a crunch, and I'm like, "Oh, what was that?" And then my glasses are super bent, and I said, "I love you, my son, but I need to step away from you because you did something that is not cool. But I can't be mad at you because you're a tiny baby. You're two. You didn't
Yeah.
mean it. It was purely accidental. But I was not happy with that kid for a whole like freaking 5 minutes, and then I got over it. It sucked because now I have to go back to an optometrist. I have to go pick a new pair of frame or new frames. It's annoying.
Yeah,
I got to do that every year because I lose my shit. So, it sucks, but I hate the optometrist.
Yeah, I had that problem. I had a coworker who was like 5'2", and every time he would do something really like to piss me off and make me want to like fight him, I would just be like, "It's okay, you're a tiny little baby," and I couldn't like, I wouldn't fight with him. I'm not gonna fight you, or you're. I feel bad, but he was a little prick. So I get that story. That one,
Yeah,
I understand.
tiny little buttholes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about short people, but they do like to pick fights, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Why can't we be friends? Let's
It's a,
just be friends.
it's a
Show,
Napoleon
show
complex.
me
Yeah.
where the gold is. Show me where all the pots of gold are. That would be cool.
They wouldn't show you. They hide it for
I
themselves.
know.
I've seen that movie. No. Um, for me, I think I've come to a place where I need to just spend more time with them, and I wasn't really um, too scared about any minor loss of money in the short term. But that's a tough decision for me because
Oh, I bet,
I'm
dude.
I'm very driven by that. Like, not so much like, I mean, I spend the fuck out of it, so I need it. Like, I can't like
Yeah.
I don't even know where it fucking goes, but like I do need more money all the time, like everybody else. But it's like, uh, I really, it was like a pride thing where I decided to do sales because it pays more if you do more. So taking a little bit of a step back in the short term to see the kids was, that I really was a no brainer, but I don't think that was always my mentality in life. So I think kids change that.
For sure. And I'll tell you exactly where all of that money goes, and it's house maintenance, house
Mm,
renovation. Every damn second something breaks. That's one of my rental properties. The
mm.
tenant called me last night. He's like, the pipe, the pipe going to the house from the AC unit's frozen over and it's not blowing air. And I'm like, of course it is, because this was the first month in a while where I haven't had that giant expense. And I'm like, well, that checks out that was going to happen. So
Nice.
that's where it goes, at least for me.
Yeah, I've been lucky with my house. I mean, there's, knock on wood or whatever. It hasn't been too like unexpected crazy, but we kind of bought it with that in mind. It was, a lot of it was renovated, and there was new appliances, new plumbing and wiring, even though it was an old structure, But unexpected stuff with houses, that I can't. That would be even worse problem than just. But I mean, daycare is a killer. I'm sure the au pair thing drains a pretty big percentage of your like money.
You would think it's
Yeah.
cheaper than daycare. So, I mean,
Yeah, but that's relative, right? We talked
yeah,
about like the actual numbers of it. It's probably more than my daycare, but less than daycare out there. I hear you. Yeah, but no, you gotta. If that was the case, I would prefer that. I mean, as it is, we got a babysitter for an hour or two. The babysitter quit. We needed a new one. Um, so now we got on babysitter number, I don't know, like 4 or 5 probably in history, but not 2 in this process. And so they get paid for a couple hours. The daycare woman gets paid for 2 kids, 3 or 4 days a week, depending. Um, that's a big chunk of money. I remember when that happened to my aunt, and she wanted to buy a car, and she's like, "Oh, as soon as Ryan, my nephew, she's like, oh, as soon as he turns like, or 5 rather, and he's not in daycare, I can buy a car because I've got like a built-in car payment plus in that fucking daycare.
oh yeah.
Crazy.
But then that's when the real extracurriculars, they're always coming for you.
Mm.
And then it'll be
Oh yeah.
football, and you'll have to
Yeah, but that's
buy.
got to be cheaper than fucking daycare. But I mean, I guess it's not with
So
full equipment and stuff, but it's still like that's got to be. But everything keeps going up, and they want more shit. They figure things out and want more stuff.
yeah, and to be honest though, I mean, I look at it from the other way too, and it's like, shit, I'd charge an arm and a leg to watch somebody else's kid. Like I don't want to watch somebody else's kid. I'd like my kids, but I don't typically like other people's kids. So that
Nah,
is a
yeah,
that is a
yeah,
job that I would not want to have, is watching
yeah.
2-year-olds and 3-year-olds all day long who, you
Yeah, that
know,
would be brutal, dude. You're gonna be a punching bag all day.
all day, and then you got all the diapers to clean, and
Don't
you
even
know,
say the diapers exactly. That sucks too.
yeah.
Another
Tommy
kid's
hit
diaper
me. They're
cleaning.
crying. There's snot everywhere. You're always sick. I mean, I just like I don't know. It's a problem that is circular, because we don't want to pay it, right? It's so expensive from our end, but also, I mean, they don't. I'm sure there's some people out there who want to be daycare workers. That's what they wanted to do, and kudos to them. But it's a job, right? I mean, so I get why it's expensive, especially with insurance and all of the various things that go into just having a place that's sufficient under the regulations to watch children. I mean, it's just, I don't know. There's a lot of people, and everybody needs the same thing.
I think there's people that actually like that, like kids enough. Like usually, and it's not 1,000% sexist, but I think there's women daycare providers. They enjoy the kids when it's a job and they can give them back. They're happy to give them back. But I mean, I know for a fact my daycare person, like she gets a lot of joy out of those kids, and it's not
Yeah.
like it's just not. It's true, but it's not. It's not everybody. There's people that
No,
there's an
there's good
ass
people
for every
in
seat.
that industry for sure, dude. There's good people in that industry in the same way that there's good people in that work in like retirement homes. You know what I mean? Like some people just are in it to be helpful. It might not seem like a big thing for like daycare workers, but like they in their own mind they might be being super helpful. Yes, they're getting paid accordingly, but some people are. I genuinely believe that some people are in it just out of their kindness of their heart, and the getting paid part is just a bonus. You know?
Well, you would have to when you look at like what people for like to be caregivers and stuff. Like it's not like or to take care of people with like addiction problems or like mental disability. Like there's no fucking money, so they must be doing it out of the kindness of their heart.
Yeah, dude.
Same thing with teachers in most of the places we live.
You
I
beat
know
me to
there's
that because I was gonna say them too.
yeah,
It's a thankless job sometimes, dude. Like
brutal.
school teachers, everybody has an opinion about them, whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? And they make shit money, and they don't work all year long. They work a school year. When school is in session, and that's about it. What do they do during the summer? What do they do for income during the breaks? I don't know how it works. I'm not a freaking teacher, but I know they don't make enough to like have a lavish life. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, my wife is, and I'll tell you, it's 11 paychecks, and then that July paycheck, it's like, all right, what are we doing here? And I mean, for us, usually she watches, like the way it works out. Our au pair leaves in the end of June, so July she'll watch the kids. We won't have the daycare cost, so it equals out, or it's at least pretty close once you account for that. But a lot of them teach summer school. That's a big part of it. Bartend in the summer
Hmm.
months.
Yeah,
Just
my sister in law when she was still in high school, we were at a restaurant, Chili's of all places, actually, and she just turned around and said, "Oh my God, that's my teacher. I didn't know she worked here too." But it was a teacher that she encountered earlier in her high school, time. And I'm like, dude, why would you need to work a job as a waitress just to make money? You know what I mean? That should tell you everything you need to know. Like, it just sucks to be a teacher. And like I said, everybody says good or negative stuff to them all the time. So they're kind of, thanked and then unthanked by other people.
Oh, for sure. There's, however 100 million, 500 million people in the United States, or 700 million, whatever it is now. And, a good chunk of those are kids, and the system wasn't built to support 700 million, right? It was built to support 150 million. And now, it costs money to up the system, and to grow school systems, and to add staff, and to renovate facilities, and it costs money. And if you're adding staff and salary, which is your biggest expense, you don't have the money to add the facilities. So and there's an allotment of money that goes to education, but is it sufficient? Probably not. I think pretty much everybody would say that. So um, it's hard. Like I get it from the school system perspective. I think that there's a lot of government red tape and mismanagement within the school system itself. But I mean, that's every government entity. But you know, that's only part of it. Like there's a lot of people. Like, that's just what it really comes down to. There's a lot of people, and we're reliant on the public education system because it's free.
Yeah.
And it's hard for us to afford daycare. It's hard for me to afford daycare, or an au pair, as an attorney. But there's people, they make $30,000 a year, $25,000 a year, and they've got the same problems that I do, just a far less amount of money to make it, to spend on it. So the public education is necessary. Like, that's what the system is built upon. It's just, how do you convince college students, hey, you're starting out from square one, and we've told you that you need money and you got to be rich to get that American dream. Take this $45,000 a year job teaching. It's a hard sell. I mean, Jason, you're a good salesman. You should sell him on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense, considering I have a bachelor's in history, and realized that there was no reason for me to quit the job that I was doing all through college, because it made more money the whole time than the job I could get coming out of college. So I was like, well, that's kind of stupid. So was this, like, I guess I appreciate that I learned how to learn or something. I mean,
Can I ask you a very
college.
dumb question, Jason?
Sure. Yeah.
And it's only because I was watching another podcast and they asked if college was a scam. Do you believe that college was a scam?
No, I don't. I should, because I believe that, I believe that the monetary system for cash in the United States is pixie dust and fairy pills.
Let's not get into that bullshit again, Jason.
But if we're gonna be, but I do like college. I do like the university system if it's used to its capacity on the right people. I don't think everyone should. Definitely not everyone should go to college, because you have to be addicted to learning something completely new and being the best at whatever it is, or learning something specific. You need to be focused. You have to want to maximize doing something. And if you have you're driven by something and you want to go to college, if you do well there, I mean, especially if you look at uber wealthy and fucking
I thought you were going to say Uber drivers.
No, yes. If you look at Uber drivers and their college education skills, no, I'm saying like the Uber wealthy, and you look at these high end, what the fuck is the word? Like Harvard and Yale and all these super Ivy League schools. I mean, there is a correlation there. If you have that education and you're trying to grow exceeding wealth, and you are driven to just do that and be a finance person, if you go to fucking Ivy League school and get involved in finance, you're going to fucking be a millionaire. It's just like, it's not that hard. If that's your goal you want to do, but it is hard to get into that school. It's super hard. And there's a lot of politics and stupid shit there. And a lot of people that shouldn't get into those schools get into them because of who their parents are, and they don't want to be there. And that's a waste of even more money and more opportunity at a school that actually does open doors. But I don't think every college is necessary for every kid. And I am But other than that, I mean, my soapbox is falling apart under my feet, I guess, at that
Yeah,
point.
I was gonna
But,
say, if you start selling me on clown college, we're gonna have a problem.
clown
So,
college,
I mean, hey, if you want to be a clown, that'd be a great place to go. But I mean, like, I guess and to that point, that would be my opinion on this is if you're going to college for a reason, I don't think it's a scam, right? And that reason is if you need education to get a job that you want or to pursue a career path you want, and the education is a precursor for it, great. That's a good reason to go to college. If to Jason's point, you're going to college at an Ivy League or someplace like that, it's not about the education at that point. It's about the connections that you're going to make there, and it's about the clout coming out of it when people look at Harvard or whatever it is on your resume, being like, "That's where I went, so you must be smart, and you're going to get a better chance at getting an interview." Right? If that's why you're going, that's a good reason to go to college. Hell yeah, go to Harvard.
heard it here first. Go to Harvard. Do it.
There you go. I'm dead.
We're setting kids up for failure, dude.
We broke
Not
the code,
everybody's gonna get
folks.
in.
We broke the code. Go to Harvard.
Go
Just
to
do it.
Harvard.
Just do it. Do it. Do it.
Tell us if it
And
works.
if you can go to college and it doesn't cost you much because of scholarships, go to college, right? Because it'll set you up. If it's not one of those three things, I think we should start instilling in our children find a job, work a little bit, think about what you want to do, find a career path, find a trade, whatever it is, and learn something hands-on that you can do now. And if through that you decide, hell yeah, I want to go to college, or I want to pursue being a lawyer, I want to pursue being a doctor, I want to pursue being a history professor, whatever it might be, okay, great, go do that. Now you've had that decision. But if you're just going because we've told you to go, right? College is how you get to the dream. College is the prosperous. Like that's your avenue. That's where I think the scam is we've told kids all through their life, you have to go to college. College is the entry. That's how you get the job that you want, which is not true at all. It's can be that, but if the goal is to make money, but you don't know what the job is that you want, going to college to get your philosophy degree or your English degree or whatever it might be, because you don't know what else to do, is someone not giving you good advice. Someone selling you on giving them money without really having any thought process as to what the outcome might be.
I mean, I think you have to look at the actual and interpret it however you want, because the victors write the history books and blah blah blah. But if you want to look at how the education system, the university system, was designed originally in this country, it is was put in place by people who believe that my generation has to go to a university to be a lawyer, so that the next generation can go to study civics or life sciences, or however they've worked. I'm paraphrasing this. And then down the line, the point was that eventually you build a society so enlightened that they have the luxury of going to school for philosophy, for deep thought, for the more abstract, and significantly insignificant things that we should think about, but have not even close to enough time to do that. So there's a real dichotomy of, well, how did we design the university system or the college system? No, we designed the college system, or at least the people that built the college system in this country, which was modeled from Oxford and places in Europe and the UK. That was their university system that we tried to better and do our own thing. But the point is, you were taught, you want to teach children how to think, and how to think deeply about things that can solve real problems, or not, or just teach them how to study and think, and become a more enlightened person.
I think
not make money necessarily.
No. Well, hold that thought. I think one of the points that was made, and I kind of also agree, is that that there's a lot of woke culture being like kind of started there, and it just gets what's it called, repeated enough to where it becomes like a thought that they automatically all have. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say brainwashing necessarily, but it's like some of these kids that are going on podcasts, and I say kids because I'm 38 and they're well in their 20s, and obviously don't know how fucking life actually works, and they're going off of whatever ideology they picked up during their time in college, or whatever other dumb ideology that they might have that every girl in their age group has the same thought of. I forgot where I was going to go with that, but I think for some people it's extremely beneficial. For other people, it's a massive waste of time and sometimes a unnecessary debt because they were sold a weird dream, not necessarily, but it's like this is what you have to do, and this is what society says or culture says, whatever you want to, however you want to phrase it. But it's like I kind of tend to agree that it's not for everyone, and it's not everything. It won't give you all the opportunities that you think you'll get necessarily just by going to college. But you will come out kind of dumb if you listen to the wrong people.
Hmm.
Words.
If you
Poetry. Others.
listen to others, so I think the most important thing you could learn in college is to listen uh, to your own thoughts and intuitions and learn how to think for yourself and figure shit out. Because
Yeah.
everything I learned that makes me any kind of money, I had to teach myself. And the things that I've learned that actually benefit me at my house, and so a lot of times at work, when I go out, when I do adulting, when I'm fucking adulting, I have to go to the bank, I have to fucking get a loan, I have to do my fucking taxes, I have to do shovel fucking snow and fucking move things around and plumbing and heating and knowing what the fuck's wrong with my TV and fixing my fucking internet. None of that was taught to me at any level of school. No one ever taught me any life skill that I consider something that benefits me greatly in my life. Like everything I taught myself is what it was is really like the life skills that get you day to day. I think college taught me to think about a lot of shit that I'm grateful for, but it's it's necessary thought for me. It was necessary for my progression. I enjoy college. I
And
enjoy thinking
can
about
I?
fucked up shit, but I don't think I need to think about philosophy um, to get by day to day. But I
Yeah.
do. I mean, it taught me how to do that.
Well, in the same way and in the same light that you see college is what I see as far as being in the military, because it gives you an incredible and unforgettable life experience that not a lot of people get to live, and you get to see some crazy places even if you don't want to be there, because sometimes you get shit duty stations, um, and sometimes you have outstanding people and sometimes you have terrible people that are above you, and it gives you a weird sense of real structure before you run into the chaos that is the regular civilian world. And I don't know. Like I think
Maybe
I tried going to college. I'll be honest, but I'm not a person that can sit during a class about something I don't want to learn, which is court classes, just to be able to get into whatever major I wanted to go into. That was not okay with me. So I kind of just
I
let
have a
that
thought.
weird dream go.
I have an
Please.
epiphany. I'm gonna
Epiphany
steal
me. Epiphany me.
epiphanize you. I
Please.
just thought of this. I
Say it.
think I think the same thing that can ruin college can ruin the mill. I just what is the one thing or a very common thing that ruins both college and the military for the people that it's trying to
Drugs.
benefit. That's trying to benefit. Okay, that a different one. But this is the epiphany. This is the epiphany. And
Okay.
drugs did me a lot of favors in college. I'm sorry to tell you that, but I disagree with
I
you.
wasn't. Well, I was in the military, so I wasn't allowed to do drugs because I would be punished or reprimanded or whatever you want to call it.
No.
So I would never do drugs.
The common thread that hurts both military and college as an overall experience for everyone else, people that don't want to be there, that are there.
Holy shit. You are a philosophizer.
Well,
You
so I
are a
think that
freaking
that kind of
genius.
circles around what I was saying. And my point is, if
Drop
you're
the mic.
doing something to
Nick,
figure
you're
out how to
using big
think,
lawyer talk. Dumb it down for us, please.
if you're doing something because you're trying to figure yourself out, right?
Mm.
You don't know what you want to do. Then do something that pays you money to do that. Don't do something where you have to pay somebody to do that. Right? Like if you don't know what the fuck you want to do, find a trade, find a job, work at Starbucks, go be an electrician, go join the, I don't want to say necessarily join the military, do it if that's something you're interested in. But, join
I
a
would
group,
highly
find
encourage.
some place where you can make money to figure out what you want to do and figure yourself out. Don't spend a ton of money to go have some philosophy teacher tell you what it is that you should do in the world and then figure yourself out, because at that point you're $50,000 $100,000 and 4 years in to realize, shit, I don't want to do this. I want to go spend another 4 years learning how to do this and another $100,000, where you could be $250,000 richer with that same thought process. And now you've got some cash to be able to go invest in your future. So again, some people know, and there's those kids, and you all knew them in high school. I sure as shit wasn't one of them. Where they come out of it, and you're like, that guy is going to be one of the best doctors on the planet. I know it. He knows it. He knows exactly what he's going to college for. See ya. Enjoy your life. And when I have open heart surgery in 25 years, I hope you're my doctor. Right? That guy exists, and we all know that person. And then there's me, who went to college and fucked off and was just a horrible college student, didn't know what I wanted to do. I have not done a single thing with my biology degree, clearly, as I'm a banking lawyer. And,
You're
that's...
Then you're eating, that's biology. They taught you that. You know how to breathe and eat and shit. That's all biology. I don't know if you know that.
I can still tell you off the top of my head, if I worked at it, the steps of muscle contraction has never come up in my real life, but I know it because we had to memorize it. But
yeah,
and it's not done anything for me, and that's because going into it, I didn't really know what the hell I wanted to do. Right, so I spent a bunch of money to get a degree that I don't use and don't want, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I spent my time in college. And you're right. Yeah, after 4 years, I did generally figure out what I wanted to do and learned how to think. But I could have been using those 4 years a lot more productively than I did. Or even if it was just a year or two, just to figure it out before I went back and set myself up. I mean, it's worked out. That's great. But it doesn't always work out for everybody. And so back to your original question, is it a scam? Not always. But if we're selling somebody to go buy something that they don't want or don't need, at the end of the day, that's the basis of sales. It's just sales. That's all it comes down to. It's somebody selling a product, and that product is college. And do they always need it, or do they always want it? No. And whose responsibility is it to determine whether or not that's a scam? Well, that's a whole nother question and another topic.
You just expanded my brain just a little bit more. Because it's a sale. Somebody sold you some bullshit. It's up to you to use it.
Yep.
Right.
And that's the big takeaway.
It's like fist fest for your brain. Just spread it out. Wait, I didn't mean that. Cut that. Now, I think it's a good conversation because obviously we are analyzing our own choices, and if school was the right thing? Maybe we didn't go to school. Was that the right thing? You're always going to have regrets in life. You can argue it both ways. And then we have the flip side of having kids and knowing that that's the pot of gold turds at the end of the rainbow of having kids is the fucking bill. This guy's talking about daycare and shit, and fucking college is sitting over there just giggling like daycare.
I
Like
know,
fucking
dude.
the
I'm not
money
looking
and like
forward to
the
it.
cost, like that is a racket, man, that whole system. Because I can still say with certainty that right now there is like a program, quote unquote, that I would seriously considered it, which I think would just like rewire my, because I'm a constant like tweaker with my own like
Don't do
skill
that. Don't
set.
do the drug.
My own skill set in terms of sales. Like I know that I want to I can sell
Mm.
things, but I don't know where I want to go with it or what I necessarily would make the most money selling, but I know that there's a process in whatever, just the sales process. So the only thing that I could do at this point would be to try different courses and seminars and things like that to try to master the skill. And there are classes which you would think of, and it is kind of ridiculous, quote unquote, for how much they charge for like
So
an
are you
all
saying that this
immersive
sounds like a
class.
scam
But it's
to you?
still, no, it probably would sound like a scam to you, but it's I bet you 10% of the cost of college, maybe. I mean, it's the whole program is like $8,000 to $10,000.
Too much. It's like a
But I'm
used
saying,
car.
like, think about how much college for like 2 years of like 2 semesters, whatever the fuck, like that's not even that much money. But when you think of it as, oh, a sales thing, like that's crazy money. And I do think that. I mean, I didn't do it because it was cost prohibitive, but think about the backwardsness of that and how much we accept that college costs, because college doesn't have to cost what it costs. And that's a big issue. And that
Yeah,
the
because there's some
prestige,
countries that offer free college education or university education. You know what I mean? And we somehow can't figure that out.
communist countries, just
Oh my gosh,
fucking
freaking douche!
Well, again,
Is Germany communist?
well,
Is that
Germany has what, the population of New York, while we have, all
yes,
the
it's a
other
numbers
United
game.
States.
That's why we can't have healthcare. That's why we can't have free college. It is a numbers game, but yeah,
There's just so many people. But yeah, I mean,
bigger
to your point,
personalities
like
too.
I would not have gone to law school if I hadn't got a full ride to go to law school, or at least
mm,
close to it, which I did, and that was great, and that worked for me, and it was why I went to law school. But I mean, I had a good job, but I went into it with that. I was 26. I had the mindset and the financial wherewithal to make the decision. Hey, only do this if it financially makes sense for you. Otherwise, why are you doing it? I wasn't. I'm passionate about the law, but I wasn't that passionate about the law. Um, but having been a 17-year-old dumbass, um, it is
thank you
it is
for saying
hard
that.
to.
Is that a Green Day song?
It's,
17-year-old dumbass.
if it's not, I mean, I hope they
It
watch and
should
they,
be.
they can
It
you
should
can get
be.
a new title. But
New album.
um, you know, it's it's difficult to expect that we or to believe that we have set up a system where we're letting 17-year-old dumbasses who can't vote and can hardly drive make lifelong financial decisions that are
Yeah,
going to
that
cost
I
them.
firmly believe that that specific portion is 100% a freaking scam because there's a medical whatever that says men's brains stop fully developing at the age of 25. Some say 28, but I'm just like, our stupid melons aren't fully developed. Like, what are you doing letting us get into debt just to get this dumb college education? You know what I mean? It works out for some, not everybody, but I'm just like, I was sold some bullshit and I fell for it. And that's a real
Yeah,
fuck.
and then of course the other flip side of that, and I know we probably should wrap up soon, but is a salesman's job is to sell stuff, right? It's not to think about the fiduciary responsibility to the person he is selling things to,
And
usually.
that's why Jason
Um,
stopped selling Hyundais. Because he's better than that.
No, I did.
Yeah, 'cause all
I did have problems with the morality, and I said that when I quit. When I gave my notice selling cars, I was like, just because I'm good at something, um, doesn't mean that I have to do that. And truthfully, there are times, many times, where it's like when it comes right down to it, it's like just because the people took the payment doesn't mean I like fucking them. Like that's not necessarily what I'm trying to do. I like having the opportunity to piece the puzzle together and make the person happy and fuck the dealership at the same time. That was always kind of my MO, which is ironic because a lot of people shook my hand and thanked me for everything I did for their company. When in reality, I very much tried to work the managers and get people better deals than a lot of salesmen probably would have bothered doing. Because I don't make money by working harder at that point. Unless it's just a flat no and I have to make the sale. But I make more money by fucking penciling them with stuff deals that make more on the on products and interest and all the different things that you can fix into a car deal. But I would try to educate people a little bit, at least, to try to get them a best deal possible. And it still worked. It's still a way to do it, but that's a hard thing to do long term. You are fighting both ends of your job, and you are exhausting yourself in an environment that is 6 to 7 days a week, especially at a big dealership like the one that they were building while I was working there. It's very tiring to have to go to a job all the time and constantly be fighting one side or the other. I mean, that's a very exhausting existence. So I think there's ways to sell things that help you sleep a little better at night. So I don't know. I don't know exactly why I had to respond to that point, but whatever you guys are saying about that, and we're going to wrap up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You know.
I know you, man. You're a good dude.
Good talk, boys. All right, so I think maybe we wrap it up there. I hope everybody has enjoyed this episode of Time to Dad. Like us, follow us, share YouTube, share podcasts wherever podcasts are podcasted. Please comment on the Facebook, join the Facebook, and join the movement that is Time to Dad. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Nick Squared, Nick Dwyer, Alabama Nick, whatever. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Peace.